Hi everyone, what's up? It's your girl Ty and welcome back to my channel. I was just sitting here, y'all, on my couch thinking, and I started to make a short because lately I've been doing a lot of shorts because I noticed that when I do shorts, it get more views in my videos. And not that I'm doing videos to get the attention. However, I am doing it to get the attention. And what I mean by that is I try to whenever I post a video about something that's on my heart, first of all, it's not just coming from me, it's coming from spirit. And one thing that spirit put on my heart this morning, and I didn't even know why it just came to me, was um remember we told you when you started this YouTube channel that your audience is already there. We already prepared your audience for you. So uh, sometimes I feel like when you're beginning your spiritual journey, it's a lot of things that you know, and in the midst of you just living life and doing the everyday thing and just being a parent, being employee and everything else you have to do to get by. A lot of times I think we fall short and forget those little hidden superpowers that we have gained along the way of our process. And the reason why God give us knowledge and tools on certain things that happens in our life is so that when it comes about again, you can know how to deal with that. And I just want to get on here to, talk to my tribe, the people who I know is going to see this video. The very few people or the very many people. However, it doesn't really matter. What really matters is that I know in my heart what God told me, which is I'm going to have my tribe. And in order for me to, in order for my tribe to find me, I have to take the steps in becoming that leader who I know that I am. And I just wanted to share, you know, to my tribe that I know that if you're a part of my tribe, you are also a leader too. You just haven't awoken into that yet, just like myself. And I have awoken into that, but I'm also, this is a new experience for me. It's like I mastered the baby realms, but now I'm in the big dog realms and I'm still a baby in their realm. So it's like sometimes I can find it intimidating when I don't stay grounded into who I am and who I know that God told me, and who I know that God told me I'm growing into, who I'm going to be. Like, I know I am meant to share my stories and to share what I've been through, and not only what I've been through in my stories, but what I've learned and what Spirit have downloaded to me. Because the way Spirit works, everybody's gonna get a download whenever you're tapped into trying to figure out what it is I'm supposed to be doing here. It's just like knocking on the door to God. It's like when you start knocking on that door, God will answer, because he did it for me, and I know I am no better than no one else. So if he did it for me, he'll do it for you too. And the main reason though why I really got on here, y'all, is to tell you that when you start your journey, it's going to be a lot of people that you thought was going to be there till the wheels fall off to support you and to, just be that supportive friend or whatever it is. And y'all, it seemed like the more I get closer to really knowing my powers and just really just being unapologetic about who I am. and knowing what I know and not looking for validation from someone. And you start to realize that the people who you used to look for validation from, once you stop looking for validation from those people and you have it within yourself because God have gave you the approval to do that, those people who you used to look for validation from, they started acting very strange. And they started to make it seem like you're crazy and, well, maybe you feel like you're more than what you really are. And it's crazy because before you reach this level, they always seen you as a regular. And sometimes I think the people who you think, sometimes it be the people who you least expect to, look at you differently. They start looking at you differently. Because when you start really stepping into your power and knowing who you are in this world and what you came to this world for, and start not only knowing that, but starting applying yourself and putting yourself in positions to become your higher self, and you start looking in that mirror every day and you start telling yourself, which is the lower self, the flesh, you will not have control over me today. When you start giving the power and the authority for your higher self inside of you to step up and be seen and be known whenever, at every minute and second of the day, you reach a whole nother level. And when you start showing up to the world as your higher self at all times, that's the place inside of you that God placed himself. That's the peace of God inside of us. That's why God said, I am inside of you. And that's why sometimes you may hear me saying, I am God, or I am a God. And I know that I am not the Most High. The divine is the divine. And that's why he, she, why I say he, she, because I don't like to label God as a man or a woman. First of all, I believe that God is energy. Energy is love. Energy is what we give off to people to make them feel a vibration, which lifts us to a higher vibration, so that we can feel the frequency of love spreading all around the world. And y'all, when you start waking up to who the fuck you are, like I said, and I started in my head, I said I hate to cuss, but you know what? Like I just said a couple minutes ago, I'm so unapologetic now. If I cuss, I cuss. If you don't like it, then get off my channel. Because I'm going to be Taisha. And some people not going to like who I am. And some people is not going to like what I stand for, or what I say, and how I move, and how I talk. And some people may say, oh, she's stupid. She can't even talk straight. Or she stutter over her words all the time. She need to go back to school. She need to get some grammar training. Guess what? I can care less on how I am perceived from someone else, especially a person who's going to take a good message and try to really analyze my message. And the only thing you can talk about is the bad that you've seen. My whole life, that's all I have received from people analyzing me and trying to pick and choose what they want to tear me down about. And I'm here to say to you, family, and to the world also, and it feels so good to say it doesn't matter what people think about you when you know that you are doing God's work. And there's going to be a lot of people who's going to talk bad about you and tear you down, especially when you're doing what I'm doing and you never had nobody show you how to do this. You don't even know. It's like you just woke up one day and you was like, you know what? I'm not going to walk by fear anymore. I'm going to start doing what God told me I came here to do. And you know what? I don't have no guidance. I don't have a teacher. I didn't have no one in my family show me how to do this. All I know is me. All I ever had was me. And that's all I'm going to have when I leave this earth. So while I'm here, I'm going to keep co-working with my creator, the divine. And I'm going to make sure that I spread love and light to the world, and I give knowledge and wisdom so that not only I can benefit from it, but the world can benefit from it. Not just me and my kids, but the world and their kids. Not just me and my generation, but also yours too. And a lot of times, that's why I think people start looking at people differently when they start to wake up to who they are, because those people are jealous because they haven't got that fire and that urge in them and that braveness in them to step out on faith like you are. So instead of them, giving you your flowers, they want to self-reflect how they feel because they're not brave enough. They want to make it seem like, oh, well, maybe you're doing too much. No, maybe you're not doing enough. That's the problem. So don't listen to what people say when you start stepping out and doing what you know that you was called to do. Because sometimes it can be someone who always gave you advice, always seemed like it was good advice and supported you until that minute when they start to see your light, your real light, the light where they start to realize, like, you know what, she actually may have a chance of being bigger than I. And that's when you start to see people true colors. When you start to step into who you really are and you start to embrace your authentic powers and trust in God and trust the process. And once you get to that place, like I said, you're going to feel like a baby all over again because you're in a different realm, baby. You wasn't in that realm before. You was doing the work. And when you do the work, just like when you go to school, you graduate. Each year you graduate to another grade level. And depending on how you did that year, baby, you would not graduate. So don't think that too, like, this shit is not a game. You can't play with God. It's like you can clock in somebody work here in the physical world and not do shit all day and get paid for it, because I see it all the time. I see it. But when you dealing with God though, when you beyond the ones that was called, because everyone was called. That's why you're here. When you go beyond that calling and you start to be that chosen one, the one that God picked out of all the ones that he chose to come here, when you become that earth angel for God, God warrior, God fighter, God that spiritual warrior here to not only for yourself, but here for humanity, you're going to be attacked. So just be ready for it. Because I've been under attack and I've been realizing a lot of things. And just before I started this video, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, I was crying. And I thought that I would break down and start crying in this video while I'm speaking to y'all, because the person who Spirit has revealed to me no longer can be in my energy is someone who I really was very dear to me and I love very much. And I recently started to realize things, and I'm not gonna lie, when I first started realizing some things, I kind of swept it under the rug. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm tripping. Like you'll be on the phone with somebody and somebody will say something, you'll be like, in your head when they send you, like, damn, that seems kind of weird. She or he don't never really ask me questions like that or say stuff like that. Like, I've been, cool with them for a while, and that's just odd from coming from that person. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, maybe 2 weeks later, they say something else. And you start to pick up on that too, and your attendance go up. And then Spirit give you a message, and Spirit confirm those little lingering, things that you pushed off to the side. Because now Spirit is telling you, like, with Spirit, when things happen in the physical world and you're not picking up on what's happening, Spirit will find a way to put it in your face to make sure, okay, boom, this is happening. It is no time to keep pushing stuff to the side anymore, because you're going places and you're elevating. And with your going places and elevating, you got your promotion from God. So when you get promoted from God, God promoted you. He didn't promote all your friends and all your family members and all your associates and all the people that you're trying to save and stuff. Because regardless or not, you gonna help who you was sent here to help, regardless of what happens. But everybody can't come to the top with you. And it's gonna be some people from day one who you always knew in your heart, just knew they gonna come to the top with you. And like for a person like me, I don't know, I guess because I have a big heart, I literally plan like which friends or which associates or which family members like I want to buy a car for one day when I become wealthy. Because wealth is something that is one of my goals to become. And when I get that wealth, I plan on doing a lot for the world. And also, like I said, there's certain people who I felt like the ones who knew me before I had, really woke up to who I was, the ones who just stayed down and stayed loyal, who never switched up on me. I always was like, I'm gonna do this I'm gonna do that for them. And that's why God will remove those people out of your life, because God knows people like us, we have good hearts and we always are thinking about others, especially the ones who we, our friends, our families, the ones that we care about. And a lot of times I find myself praying for, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't been doing that lately, but I used to pray for other people more than I prayed for myself. And Spirit told me to stop doing that, because I was draining my own energy because I was giving it to other people. And you cannot be running off an empty cup and trying to give all your energy out to everybody, because then you'll be left with nothing. And another reason, and it's crazy, and I was going to say another reason, but I ain't even going to talk about my reason, because Spirit just put something in my heart. Spirit just said to me, and that's why they have to leave, because the things that you was willing to do for them, they wasn't willing to do for you. All that praying and that thinking, that praying over people, family and them and stuff like that, like, you spending all that time investing in good energy for them and their family, but little do you know, they don't even think about you and yours. And it's like, a lot of times, y'all, you will, just like I said, when you have a small circle like myself, you always kind of hold on to the people who was there with you. And cause you already ain't got them in there anyway. So it's like, well, dang, I only got one friend left. Like, this is the only person who I can call and talk to and express everything to and be myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about them judging me. And then, like I said, when you go into that different realm, y'all, and you start calling people and you start expressing yourself and being your authentic self, and you're excited about the powers that God have revealed to you. And especially when you, like me, and you got spiritual gifts that you are able to literally give messages from Spirit and give, like, one of the things I also have had a chance to do is receive messages from the dead to give to their loved ones. And like I said, y'all, I just really been tapping into my energy and really not being afraid of who I am and what I know that I'm capable of doing. And I just noticed that a lot of people, they start acting kind of strange and they start switching up. And it's a lot of times I don't even think they even notice that I notice, and I know that they don't, but I do. I notice everything. A lot of times I notice things. Sorry, y'all, I'm kind of tripping over my words right now because I'm having like a small amount of anxiety. just thinking about, everything. But because of that, I'm gonna cut it real short. I know it's been 20 minutes already, but I'm gonna end it soon. And I just want to just let y'all know again, just be prepared for those people to start, those people that you love and you care about and you thought was going to always be there for you and understand you. Be prepared for them to switch up on you and be okay with it, because for one, you're changing, and whenever you're changing for the better, it's always good. It can be hurtful sometimes losing the people who, like I said, that you just thought was gonna be there, especially when you like me, you don't have many people that you fuck with anyway. So it's like, well, damn, if I lose them, I ain't gonna have nobody. But guess what? You will always have God. And that's one thing that I think really, that simple line is just like, that's like it's like air for me some days. Like, I have to remember that. Like, I have to keep telling myself that, because a lot of times I'll find myself in a place where I don't have nobody to call to talk to. And it's all right. Just keep talking to God, because God will always have your best interest in the heart. So, and remember, when you have that small love, when you started noticing stuff, don't just brush it off when it's coming from people that you love, because it's someone that you love and you wouldn't expect them to be like that, because you never know what to expect when you're working with God, because God will take off the mask of the people that is not supposed to be around you while you're going through this ascending and you're elevating, and God is putting you in position to be a world leader so that you can make a difference in this world and not allow people to leech onto you like a vampire, sucking all of your good energy out of you just so they can take it for themselves and not even reproduce more like I'm doing. Like, this is not a game. This is not no 30-minute like program. This is not no just now thing. This is eternal. What I'm doing. Everything that I do in this lifetime will pass on to many other lifetimes. And I encourage everyone who listens to me to become their own leader in whatever community or whatever they are in the world, and encourage other people to do that, because that's what we need. We need people to start being leaders around this world and start just speaking out on their truth and being who they are, not giving a fuck what nobody think about them, not caring about the critics. And one thing I also try to remember too is, whether it's good or bad, if they're talking, it's good. If they're talking about you, it's good. So, yeah, start cutting them ties with people that you know no longer see you the way they used to see you anymore, because now you're shining too bright. And when you start shining brighter than their light, and you start realizing that they're changing, know that that's their true colors, and know that that's their true soul, and that's who they are. And people change. Just like you're changing and you're starting to become a new person, people change too. So don't expect that with you changing and becoming your higher self, that everybody around you who loved you as your lower self, respected you as your lower self, thought everything was great with you, never had nothing to say bad about you, supported you and everything. But the minute you start elevating up that ladder, you start going up, and you start believing in yourself and knowing what you say is the truth, and not having conversations with people and allowing them, and coming out that conversation with saying, okay, well, maybe you're right. Fuck that. If you know what you know what you know. having a conversation with someone about something and coming out of that conversation respecting how they feel and you respecting how you feel, that's one thing. But you folding on what you know God told you, that's a whole nother. And when people start to do that, it's time for you to separate yourself, because you got to trust and believe in your process. Because if you don't believe in it, then who the fuck else will? No one. So I hope this message get to who it's supposed to get to. I love you guys so very much, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.